What's good, Life and Poetry, or shall I say, greetings and salutations, Life and Poetry fam, and welcome back to the channel with your boy, your host, you guessed it, Marcus T. This guy, back with another video. Guys, Life and Poetry fam, welcome back. welcome back. Now, I know things have been changing here on the channel with Life and Poetry and the different things we're going to do, different topics, different discussions that we're having here. But I want to go back to the roots today, why I originally started this here. And the overall agenda was to dive into my life story, give my testimony, encourage folks, as well as talk about that poetry aspect of things. You know, I'm a poet, self-published, right? First book out, second book in the works, right? But I want to dive back to that poetry side. So today, yeah, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do a little something, a little educational something about the poetry thing. But before we jump into that, I need you guys to do me a huge favor, right? You know what it is. If you have been here before, or if you are new here, wait. All right, it's been some time, but I'm gonna get it. It's been some time. I'm gonna get back in the groove of. I'm getting back in the groove, right? Remember, we don't edit nothing out. I want to be about raw as possible today. I'm not editing no mistakes out, no blurs out, nothing. We're gonna go straight through. That's gonna be what it's gonna be today, right? But if you are new here, and if you have been here before and have not already done so, guys, you do me a huge favor, go ahead and smash that subscribe button so that you can be a member of the Life and Poetry family and team. Guys, it's important, right? Step 2, I need you guys to go ahead and turn on that notification bell so that every time we here at Life and Poetry drop a new video, you can be notified. After you've done that, guys, like this video, thumbs up, thumbs down. Remember, it's all love. Don't mind my pen. Thumbs down is all love here at Life and Poetry, right? After that, share this video and comment down below. Guys, let me know what you think about these videos. You got any questions, comments, or concerns, comment down below. Also, follow me on my social media. My Instagram and TikTok are both at officially.marcus.t. The links will be in the description down below as always, as well as my book will always be in the description down below, guys. Go check those links out. Go check it out. Let's make it happen, right? But now all that's out there where you subscribe, you look at the links, you pause, is that a third, whatever, you get your snack, whatever it may be, right? Now let's talk about some good stuff here. And I wanted to talk about something that's imperative in my mind to the writing or the poetry writing, creative writing process, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm gonna get in and out. It's gonna be a quick video. We're gonna get out. So I'm talking fast. Bear with me. I'm ashy too. It's all right. But we're gonna get in and get out, right? So today I wanted to talk about effective communication in poetry, right? Or in creative writing or in any form of literature. It's key. It is one of the most crucial, in my book, aspects of writing. You have to be able to convey that message properly and effectively, right? So before we dive into that right there, let's break down effective communication, right? Let's define it, right? So I went onto onto the inner line, and I got the exact definition of it. Right? I don't want to do it verbatim. I'm gonna give you the definition, right? The definition of effective communication is the ability to convey information to another effectively and efficiently. Keywords: effectively and efficiently, right? Effectively and efficiency. Now remember, this here doesn't just relate to poetry or writing. This also goes to day-to-day conversations, like personal conversations with folks, right? But because we're talking about poetry, we're going to tie it into poetry, right? Poetry, poems, spoken word, storytelling, short stories, whatever it may be, right? Let's tie it all in, right? Effective communication, right? Now, when you're writing poems or anything or any body of work, you want your readers or your audience to be able to understand what the big picture is, right? You want to be able to paint that picture, and because you aren't using literal words or sometimes even pictures, little words meaning verbal conversations. I should say verbal conversations or pictures. You have to be able to convey it with your writing, with your words, right? Right. So you want to you want your audience to be able to say, okay, I got this here, right? I got what this is about. I see the picture, and I see where the writer's going with this here, right? And with that piece there, seeing where the writer's going, right? You have those. Sometimes you can combine phrases or set up phrases that you can lead into something different. It can build on, or like climax into the next, you know. And all too often, I know I do it in poetry, because my thing is, for me specifically, I'm quite certain other writers do it as well, but I want you to be able to see what I'm talking about in the first half a stanza as I'm writing this here. And by the time you get to the end, I want you to be able to tie it in several different things as I work through here. I want you to be able to splash that paint on the canvas, so that by the time you finish reading that entire poem, you have the full picture painted out in detail, not just outline. I want you to see colors, hues, and comparison and contrast. I want you to see it all in that when we're finished, okay? That's me when I write. I also want to be able to create that effective dialogue, right? And by that I mean, okay, I know writing, you typically have that one-sided conversation, just getting it out, that monologue type conversation. But is it coming off clearly? Is it congested? Is it broken? Is it fragmented? All these things in my mind come into play. For example, if I'm writing about cereal, right? I don't want to go from writing about the box, the bowl, the milk, to peanut butter and jelly. Like, really? Like, okay, now I didn't confuse myself just then. You know, but that's just me. That was an example. Maybe shaky for some, but if you get it, you got it. You know, you want to be able to have that constant dialogue to the piece, whereas you see that progression. That progression it isn't stagnant. It's like a solid flow. You know, imagine it like you cut on the faucet, and water's running down until you cut it off, right? On, off, on, off. I want that solid piece, unless I'm building up for something else. But even then, I'm able to tie in those concepts, so that the dialogue is still fluid in some type of way, you know. Now, when it comes to writing, all right, you can break down. Let me see. That's why I don't like taking notes. I hate taking notes, but I'm gonna put it here so I don't be looking to the side like that. But I know that at times when I write, I like to frame my work in a certain way as I'm writing, as I'm doing my drafts. I frame it so that although this may be my draft, it's still showing me where I'm going with it there. You know, as a writer, my mind tends to take control of itself. You know, you hit cruise control, and you think that you just grooving on down the lane, and then boom, another idea popped in your head, and then it merged somehow into something, and you gotta go back and redo this. So I like to frame it so that I can get it like that. So I'm not only making sure that piece is communicated for my readers or my audience, but also that I can understand it. Although I'm coming out with it, although I'm writing it, but I still want to be able to say, okay, I'm tracking, I'm painting the picture in my head. So if I know I'm gonna get it, they're gonna get it. Or maybe this nuance shouldn't go here, or this innuendo shouldn't be there, or this metaphor doesn't form freely here to flow into the succeeding stanza. You know, but again, this is how I see effective communicating in poetry. The basis of it is, guys, just make sure that what you're writing, it can be conveyed effectively. Remember, 2 words: effectively and efficiently, to your audience, to your readers, whatever it may be. If you doing a poetry reading, whether it be audio or in person, or you just give them the book and say, read the book, figure it out yourself. Be able to convey it so that they can say, okay, I see where you're going with this here. I understand it. It flows smoothly. It's flowing. It flows efficiently, and it's framed well. You know, and this is another definition. This is another thing I want you guys to know. poetic communication, right? Poetic communication can, it was defined in saying that poetic communication can only take place through processes of linguistic communication, right? Be able to verbally talk, right? Be able to create that dialogue. But it is not confined to those. So you can have that framework as if I'm having a conversation with you, right? Or you can frame it to be on a whole other realm, but it still flows freely. I think I'm confusing myself as I'm saying this here, right? But yeah, you know what? I don't know those. We're gonna talk. All right. Look, when you're writing, for me, again, when I'm writing, I like to frame my work to create the dialogue so that as I'm writing it, I got the bigger pictures I'm going through. For me, each stanza has to paint a piece of that portrait. Whether your first stanza and your last stanza creates the frame, and then the pieces in between create that legwork. You know, create the silhouettes, the illusions. It combines the colors. It literally enlightens your palette. You know, all those things for me is how I frame my poetry and how I deal with these, that, and the third. That's for me. That's how I do it. You know. But yeah, so being able to effectively communicate in your poetry is key, or in any body of work. It is crucial to be able to do so. It is crucial to be able to do so. Please excuse the rattling, but it is crucial to be able to effectively communicate. If you can't communicate in your work, then how can you expect your audience to understand it? How can you expect your readers to say, "Oh, okay, I got that"? No, you can't. You can't. It's just something that's like, well, you know what? It's on paper. You get it how you get it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not that person. If I don't get it myself, I'm quite certain that you're not going to get it, so I'm not going to put it out. I got to be able to paint that picture. I got to create that, even without an illustration, even without the actual physical picture that's there in front of you. I know sometimes we put the cover on our books or on our work or whatever, that cover art, and it gives you insight into what's about to be in the book. My first book cover art was just the name of the book. To get there, you have to dive into the story and see what it was about. For me, that's what I like to do. I like for people to dive into to see that, okay, once we get into the book, now each piece paints this picture as we go through. Each piece says, okay, this ties in here, this opens up for this here, this leads to that, and this concludes here. Constant dialogue, flowing water. It has to be smooth like that, in my opinion. Some writers may beg to differ. For me, if I can't effectively see it myself, for me, it doesn't go on paper. It doesn't go on paper. It won't go into nowhere but a folder for to be determined or miscellaneous works. And I may come back to touch it later. I may just scrap it all together. But if I can't paint that picture within the first half a stanza, I'm not there. I'm not there, and it won't be published through me. That's just my opinion. That's my take on it. But effectively communicating in poetry or in any body of work, being able to do so is a skill that you must learn to do to please your audience, to keep them intrigued, to keep them there, and to keep them wanting to read more. To wanting to read more, like a conversation. If you can't effectively communicate, what happens? All right, I'm out. I'll talk to you later. And the person does what? Don't call you back. Don't talk to you later. They move on to the next. Same way with writing. Effectively communicate. Trust me, it brings them in the door. And it opens up for something greater. It opens up for something more. Right? So, that's that life of poetry. Effectively communicating. Ring light just went out. It's going to come back in. It'll be all right. Effectively communicating. And that's what we do. And we're not editing nothing out today. It's going to be what it's going to be. But being able to do so is key. It's key. Right? Holding to that. And there may be some more videos or maybe examples of how to apply these to your work. With some of the other things we've done. But as we dive into more of the poetry thing, the poetry side of the channel, we're going to dive more into the formalities or the tips and tools that can help you not better yourself as a writer, but to help you improve on help you improve on getting to the direction in which you want to go to. I won't claim to be an expert in writing. I won't claim to have this, that, and third under my belt. But I will say this here. I'm here to help in any way I can. I'm here to give my advice, my opinion, my insight on how I get to where I get to and how I do what I do. when it comes to my writing, specifically me. Other writers may have something different, but me, this is what I do. Effectively communicate. Trust me, it goes a long way. Life and poetry, as always, has been amazing. Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and make sure you subscribe to the Life and Poetry channel so that you can be a member of the Life and Poetry team. Come on now. Come on now. It don't even cost you nothing. Just come on and join the team. And yeah, so next time, I don't know what's on the schedule for next time. I forgot to look at the calendar today, but it's going to be something great. It's going to be something great, guys. Remember, uploading schedules have changed to Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we're going to stay consistent with that as we've been doing thus far. We're about halfway through the month, but we've been doing good so far, staying on that schedule, trying to stay up to date with everything. If any other changes come about, you guys can always get them here on my Instagram page at officially.marcus.to or on the Facebook Life and Poetry like page, which will be linked in the description down below, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and the book Love in the Eyes of the Author, a collection of spoken word pieces. Yeah, in the description down below. Go check it out. If you haven't grabbed yourself a copy, please go do so. Please go do so. It's an amazing piece of work. You won't regret it. Also, be on the lookout for book 2, which is in the process now of being processed or produced. I'm working on it now. We're going to get it out as soon as possible. Remember, the goal is to get it out by the end of this year, as well as the goal for the channel. We are almost at 200 subscribers. I want to be at 250 by the end of February. Help me get there. Help me get to 250 by the end of January. You guys did it before when we hit that goal of 150 last year before my birthday. Was it one? It was 100 or 150, 1 or 2 before my birthday. We exceeded that. Guys, let's do it again. Life and Poetry. Let's show them how we do here. Let's grow the family. Let's grow the family. Let's grow the family. So I gotta go. But as always, great talking to you guys. One day we're gonna be able to talk back. But as always, stay safe, be blessed. Until next time, you know what it is. We out. Peace.